In Undertale Yell specifically, there's a progression of how sad every character that you have to murder gets. So what did I do? I went through every single enemy that you can possibly encounter. Well, every single enemy that I encountered on my Undertale Yell Genocide run. I went through, I assessed, and I ranked every single character based on how sad they look and how bad it makes me feel. Things you need to keep in mind. Number one, we're taking into account the progression of the sad faces. So it should be like the initial look you see, then the look that they get that changes to for below 50% HP, and then the look that they get when you kill them. We're going off visuals only. So guys, release your emotional attachments to these characters. We're going off visuals only. And the last thing that I need you to keep in mind is this is a personal tier list, okay? You may disagree if you'd like, but this is my opinion. Number 23, because we're ranking 23 of these. Number 23 is Flowey. Now, I can understand the argument that Flowey shouldn't even be in here, but Flowey's face does have a progression here, but I just included this because he basically just gets more scary, okay? Next one, number 22, is Micro Frogget. It's just a pixel. It's literally a pixel. And by the way, him being dead is just spaced out pixels. Okay, so number 22 is Micro Frogget. That's a no-brainer. Number 21, Frostermit. Frostermit is just an igloo. And when you get it below 50% HP, it just changes to having cracks. That's it. So it goes from igloo to cracked igloo. And when you kill it, nothing happens. It continues to be a cracked igloo. So like, obviously this is not gonna be anything special. Okay, next one, number 20, Axis. Everyone relax, okay? Put down your pitchforks. Everybody relax. Axis is just a man holding a garbage can lid. That's it. Below 50% HP, he loses the shield. So he goes from holding trash can lid to not holding trash can lid. And when he finally dies, he doesn't change at all. He just turns yellow. He basically gets piss blasted or whatever the hell you guys said. Axis being number 20 is deserved. Hey, quick side note. Some people in chat were mentioning that I forgot about the very last snapshot of Axis that looks like this, but I actually intentionally did not include that because every single monster in the Steamworks has their own exploding animation after you deliver the final blow. So it's not entirely unique to Axis. And even if I were to consider this, I don't think my rankings would change. Number 19, Ceroba. If you look at her right here, going from her initial look to below 50%, she's a little bit beat up. Like if you look at her face right here, she's a little bit more beat up. I think like there's one little rip in her dress there or something like that, but that's pretty much it. And then when she dies, she basically dies a heroic death. She doesn't die a sad death. She's kind of a badass. Like it doesn't really make me feel bad for her. It's more so just like she's a warrior and she died valiantly. You know what I'm saying? Number 18, Insomnitot. I know that Insomnitot already looks sad. I took that into account. Below 50% HP, there's not much difference between the initial look that you already get if you're doing Pacifist and the below 50% HP look that you get if you're actually murdering Insomnitot. He's basically just a sleep-deprived guy, whether you kill him or not, okay? When he dies, by the way, this is a big reason why he's actually number 18, because he looks like an anime cat. Like the anime cat girls or whatever, where they have that like mouth or whatever. We're going on to 17. You guys know what I'm talking about. Number 17, Asgore. Now, yes, I know that we didn't fight Asgore, but I wanted to include everybody, okay? We didn't fight Flowey, but I still included him, right? So, initial look, Asgore already looks kind of worried. Below 50% HP, he doesn't really look sad. He looks like a YouTube thumbnail. You know what I'm saying? So like when you take into account that he looks like that because he's like really surprised that you're about to kill him, yeah, that's kind of sad. But again, we're just going off visuals here. Then when he dies, this is a big reason why he's actually 17 and not lower. This is kind of heartbreaking. You know what I mean? Like we're basically killing this friendly guy that wasn't going to fight us anyway. Number 16, Sir Slither. Sir Slither deserves better. But guys, the reason why he's number 16 is because he gets happy. He looks like he's happy when he's below 50% HP. Yes, it's like a sad happy, but I don't really feel bad for him. I feel bad that I'm murdering somebody, but I don't necessarily feel bad for him. And then the dead picture does look kind of heartbreaking, but it's not too different from the initial look, right? And if you remember, if you go back and you watch the beginning of the video, the beginning of the VOD, I said that we're going off of progression here. So the difference between the initial look and the final look is not that large. He's not letting you have the satisfaction. I'm not letting him have the satisfaction of being higher on the list. Sir Slither is a comfortable 16. Next one, Jandroid. Jandroid starts off like a little happy little droid that's mopping the floors and he's having a good time. Once he gets below 50% HP, he doesn't necessarily look any more sad, but he does look beat up. The reason why Jandroid is actually not lower on the list is actually because of the dead picture for this one. Jandroid looks mutilated here. This one I think is probably the first one that actually makes me feel okay. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm starting to recognize there's consequences for my action. It started basically with Jandroid. Number 14, Sousborg. The initial look is he's got a meat cleaver and he's basically way tore. He's essentially serving drinks and food or whatever. Now below 50% HP, he essentially looks almost no different whatsoever. Yes, there is some, like the mustache gets squiggly. You guys can see the mustache is nice and groomed here. There's also some buttons missing. He gets an eyebrow instead of having no eyebrow. But once you deliver the final blow, he gets this little tear in his eye. And his clothes are messed up. His mustache is even more messed up. But this little tear is the thing that sealed the deal that he's this high on the tier list for me. He grew an eyebrow. Yeah, he was so traumatized that he literally grew an eyebrow halfway through the fight. Number 13, Goosic. So the initial look, he has kind of a happy eye. Then once he gets below 50% HP, his eye noticeably gets sad and his disc cracks. And then finally, when you kill him, then we have like our first face that actually looks like we've really like twisted the knife now. So Goosic is 13. Number 12. I can't wait for you guys to see number 1. I guarantee many of you are going to disagree with my number 1, but I'm ready to defend it. Dalv is number 12. There's not many differences between Dalv's look. Like his initial look is already sad. His below 50% HP look actually looks like it gets happier. So he basically looks like he gets happier halfway through the fight. And then his dead look is him essentially closing his eyes and accepting his fate. The looks here are essentially describing depression. I mean, it's depressing. Like, it's sad. It's definitely sad. I remember audibly saying out loud by the time the fight ended, and like I had to sit there and watch that face. I wasn't even excited about beating the fight. This is just making me feel like genuinely bad. Anyway, number 11 is Sweet Corn. Anyway, number 11 is Sweet Corn. Now, Sweet Corn starts off very anime happy-esque. However, we quickly realize that we're essentially mutilating a cornstalk. By the way, in what other world does that sentence make any sense? We're going from happy little anime corn to eye melted off of face and cracks kind of a fake smile and is really trying to keep it in there, asking why aren't you happy? He's worried about us as we're mutilating him and murdering him. That's pretty sad. Now, even if some of you guys say, Trevor, you're being hypocritical, we're supposed to only be going on visuals here. I know, that's why the dead picture really seals the deal for me here. The sweet spot in my stomach is for, you know how like, if something's flinching because it thinks about to get hit and it goes like, you know what I mean? Like that. I have a huge soft spot in my stomach for that. And anytime a character flinches or an enemy flinches, it just hits me right in the gut and I don't know why. But that's why Sweet Corn is number 11. Anyway, we're getting into top 10 territory here. Number 10. Who's the first one that makes it into the top 10? El Bailador. Now again, release your previous emotional attachments to him. Even if you think this character is kind of annoying, even if you don't really like this character, or even if you do, it doesn't matter. Sing El Bailador. Going from fist-pumping dancer who goes, "It's time to dance. I just want to teach you how to dance," to this, from that little happy, little spunky, little Spanish guy, right? To fist-pumping depression. It doesn't feel the greatest, okay? I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't feel the greatest. And then finally, when he dies, he just kneels down in defeat. All of his joy is gone out of his body. And it's a sad progression. Number 9. I think it's either number 8 or number 7 where things start to get really serious. Number 9, No Cone. This is the territory where things could be swapped, like my mind could be changed. You know that meme about the guy sitting on the college campus with the coffee cup and he says like, change my mind? That's basically me right now because some of these are pretty close, starting with number 9. I know that I say release your preconceptions about the characters, but like No Cone is kind of a dummy. He doesn't really have it all there, but he means well. Now, again, if we're going just based on visuals, this is still a pretty depressing transition, right? We go from, he's kind of angry, but he means well. He doesn't really want to hurt you. He's kind of trying to figure things out, to now he's just like, wait, you know, why is Human hurting me? No Cone, no, what No Cone did. You know what I'm saying? And then finally, when you kill him, again, guys, I have a soft spot for the flinching faces. This face is heartbreaking. And when you tie it in to remembering the character that you're dealing with, he probably doesn't even understand why you're hitting him. It's like a dog. Even if you just say, no, that was bad. And the dog's like, well, I was just chilling. I was just hanging out. You know, the dog doesn't really understand. I feel the exact same way. No Cone is a comfortable number 9. Number 8, Flier. Now, I know some of you guys might be thinking Flier should be higher on the list. And by higher, I mean like 5 or 4, whatever. But this face doesn't really look like it's sad. If I can describe this face, it looks like he's going like he's judging me. Honestly, if I was just basing it off this, Flier would be like 12 or 13. But again, it's this picture. Flier's just a little guy. Like he's just a little fella. And when he does this little flinching face when he dies, it's tough. I remember feeling really bad when I saw this. So that's why Flier's number 8. Next one, number 7. I think this is where things get serious. Number 7, Martlet. The reason why Martlet is so high on the list is because of this initial progression here. She goes from happy to, again, that little flinching face, which you already know. If you've been watching, you already know I have a soft spot for these flinching faces. So she has some hope. She goes from flinching because it hurts, and she literally says, ow, what are you doing? Now, again, not even taking into consideration the text dialogue, because I said that's what I was going to do. We go to below 50% HP. She's angry. She's determined. But by the time we, quote unquote, this is in parentheses because she's not actually dead. She goes back to defeated. So I feel like this progression here tells a good story that's like, she wants the best. She doesn't want to fight. Then we hurt her. Then she feels bad, gets angry, and then she goes back to being like the little sad character that she is. And this makes me feel bad. And I remember at the end of this fight, when I was actually playing in the actual playthrough, I legitimately felt terrible. So I feel like this is justified. Okay, next one, number 6. I can't wait for you guys guys to see number 1. Number 6, Televise. By the way, I forgot to take off the parentheses in the rest of these slides. This face right here seals the deal. This face is tragic. The only reason why Televise is not higher on the list is because the face doesn't change at all. So when you go from Televise below 50% to Televise dying, the face doesn't change at all. If this would have changed to a flinching face, it probably would have been like 2 or 3. Okay, top 5. You guys ready? Dial in right now. Top 5. Seriously, Penilla. Dial in. The whole reason why Penilla is number 5, why Penilla is a top 5 sad face character, is because of this look right here. Some of you might be thinking, why is Penilla not higher on the list? The only reason why Penilla is not higher, meaning a lower number, is because of this. Yes, the eyes turn black. Yes, Penilla's face goes void of emotion. Yes, it's sad, but it's not up there on par with flinching. Now, the rest of the characters on this list, their face changes to be more and more sad every single time. But this below 50% face right here, Penilla, is the reason why Penilla's top 5. Okay, you guys ready? This time, seriously. I'm being so seriously right now. This time, lock in. Number 4. Dunebud. Dunebud starts off a happy little fella, not a care in the world. But as soon as you start murdering Dunebud and you get that MF or below 50% HP, it turns into Blobfish. And it's really sad. Now, this alone is not enough to be top 4. However, once you kill Dunebud, his face goes to this. And this face is tragic. This face is heartbreaking. Now, this next pick, I almost put number 3 as number 2, and I almost put number 2 as number 3. But I thought long and hard, and number 3, this goes to Bull. Bull starts off with a stern look, but as soon as you get them below 50% HP, this feels so bad. By the way, basically this entire time I've been saying I have a soft spot for the flinching looks. Well, take a look at this dead picture and tell me that this is not the saddest flinching face you've ever seen. This is the saddest flinching face in the entire game. That's terrible. It reminds me of sad puppy eyes. This face seals the deal. It's almost number 2 for me. Number 2. Oh, I forgot about Starlo. Damn it! I forgot about it. Okay. Number 2. Cactiny. You already know the face that's coming at the end. Below 50% HP, I feel like this alone solidifies a top 3 spot. Going from already depressed Cactus to really, really depressed, I feel like I'm like torturing him or something. Which I guess in a way I am, but it's like, it makes me feel really bad about myself. But this dead picture quite literally seals the deal. This is tragic. This is heartbreaking. It's horrible. Number 1. What guesses do you have? Number 1 is Jerry. Giga Martlet. I put Giga Martlet because I didn't know the name. Some of you are saying it's Zenith Martlet. Giga Martlet deserves to be at number 1. We said based on progression, right? This is the progression of this fight. Please, what do I do? Stop. Look at this face. Someone crying out for help. Even if you can't read the dialogue, the picture still depicts exactly what the dialogue is. And then help me with the hand reaching out. Now, again, I just want to hone in on this last point. The reason why Giga Martlet I think is number 1 is because of these last 3 pictures. This, I think, hands down seals the deal that this is number 1. Okay, that's it. That's the entire sad face tier list of all of the Undertale Yellow characters. This is argumental support for why I think the Undertale Yellow route makes you feel more sad and worse than the regular Undertale route. All right, you guys ready for a little genocide? You guys ready for a little bit of murder here? Not too much, right? Not too much, just a little bit of murder.